Disclaimer.
This is not, I'm not preaching, see? I'm not saying this is what you ought to do. I'm simply pointing out a state of affairs that is so. There's no moralism in this whatsoever. It's simply pointing out, like, if you put your hand into the fire, you'll get burned. You can get burned if you want to. It's okay. But if it so happens that you don't want to get burned, and you don't put your hand in the fire.
Good day, everyone. Today is Saturday, February 13th, 2021. There is so much stuff happening behind the scenes, both geopolitically and economically. Today we're going to be talking about the economic side of everything, a little bit of the impending world collapse or the world economic collapse, a little bit of NESARA and the SEC versus Ripple, and of course XRP. So we have an exciting bit of information, an exciting show for you guys, so please stay tuned. Okay, guys, we're going to first get into this guy here, 3T Warrior Academy, really good guy to watch. He has a background in banking, and specifically scaling banking. He wasn't just like a guy that, took your money at the bank. He was one of those guys that scaled banks for a living. So this is huge. He knows a lot of information about that. He's all over the place. Sometimes he speculates pretty hardcore sometimes, but I kind of appreciate that to some extent because it kind of goes back to the old saying, I'd rather try to achieve something great in life and fail than try to achieve nothing and succeed. And this guy is all or nothing. So I really do appreciate that about him. Definitely suggest following him, giving him a subscribe. Anyways, he's talking really quick. We're not going to watch the whole video, obviously, but Ripple patents XRP powered on-demand liquidity network for all cross-border transaction. This is huge. This means that if other banks don't participate in this scenario, they're going to go out of business because they're going to have higher costs and higher fees, which nobody's going to do business with that. This is how the free enterprise system works. So pay close attention to what he says here.
Now check this out. This came up on February 12, 2021. Ripple patents XRP powered on-demand liquidity networks for cross-border payment transactions. On-demand liquidity, warriors. On-demand liquidity. Understand the banking knowledge I have. Scaling banks. Liquidity is the key for banks. Ripple has patented a network computing system for its XRP-powered cross-border payment product, on-demand liquidity, ODL. The United States Patent Trademark Office officially granted the patent on January 26, according to documents filed by the US PTO website. This is huge. Ripple's patent explains that ODL helps banks avoid keeping money tied up to the corresponding bank method of processing remittances. They just patent this, warriors. Do you understand what this means? Current estimates indicate that on an order of $10 trillion in value is used as a parked floating sitting in a nostro account or other corresponding accounts throughout the world. Furthermore, any pair of banks that do not have an agreement regarding such exchanges must use other banks that do, which can drive up transaction fees and complexity. With the advent of digital currencies and decentralized ledgers, the use of nostro accounts may be largely eliminated, releasing the parked money therein to be deployed by the banking institution accordingly, as described herein. This is why I'm so bullish on XRP. You have to understand that banks actually, it's not that they're choosing, they need XRP, warriors. Let me read that sentence to you again and break it down from a banking perspective and so you can understand it. With the advent of digital currencies and decentralized ledgers, the use of nostro accounts may be largely eliminated, releasing the parked money. So nostro parks the money. They have to hold liquidity, right? They have to have liquidity to move the money across rails. So if you have a whale, which we're going to be whales, right? If you have a whale moving money, you have to have that money to move around to back the liquidity on that, right? Therein being deployed by the banking institution accordingly. So this is releasing the park money. It releases that park nostro money so they can use it for advertising, for lending, for driving revenue. A bank is not a nonprofit organization. They're in the money game, warriors. Bank of America has the most cryptocurrency patents. Wells Fargo, $5 million in the cryptocurrency platform. JPN, Jamie Dimon, who told you cryptocurrency is a fraud, is now letting certain customers buy and sell and trade cryptocurrency. He has the JPM coin. They have their own cryptocurrency protocol where you can build your own token on their platform, like Ethereum type platform, Warriors. You've been played for a very long time, Warriors. And you have to understand the game. You have to understand the game. It's here. As Mark Cuban says right here. Let's repeat this. Mark Cuban on blockchain. It's like the early days of the internet when a lot of people thought we were crazy. A lot of people have thought I was crazy, Warriors, but I show exactly what I'm doing in the quantum financial system. I want to help as many people as possible, Warriors. That's the key to this. How amazing would that be, Warriors, if we all were able to bring freedom back to our families? And I'll tell you what, Warriors, I was divinely directed to this. You can believe me if you're not. I'm a follower of God. I love the life of Jesus Christ. I'm non-religious. I pray a lot. I was in the crypto space before I even brought it up to my Warriors. And when I got crushed in the C word, the pandemic, the game, shut my business down, I went ham, Warriors. And I said, God, what should I share? And I started sharing what I was doing in the crypto space. And thank God I did, because a lot of Warriors have done really, really well. And it's happening right now. And you're not too late, Warriors. You're not too late, but be careful. You can get wrecked in this space. Scared money doesn't make money. Greedy money always loses money. You have to be fundamental. If you don't know trading, you shouldn't be a day trader. You should get in, create long-term holds, but know when to get out. You have to know this stuff, Warriors. So if you want to be surrounded by a community, and this isn't just about crypto, Warriors. We work out subconscious mind programming, nutrition, economics. We teach you the game so you can't be played, Warriors. And you're surrounded by a community of 700 Warriors with common goals just like you.
All right, I think you guys kind of get where he's going with all of that. I think he's selling himself now on there. The guy's really good, though, with everything that he does. I've checked him out a little bit. Definitely moving in the right path. And again, you guys know that most of you guys know that I'm not a day trader, never have been. This is the closest I've ever been to day trading is with cryptocurrencies, because, even though I am holding for the long term, a lot of it, but there is the most amount of capital gains to be made in the cryptocurrency platform. So even more than I've held index funds for over 20 years, never touched the money, and I'm about to make more, almost 20 times the amount I did compounded over that many years. And I've held cryptocurrency now for a total of 4 years now. So and that's about to 20 times my money. So that's pretty insane to think about. Here's another article from International Finance. This is one that's been out for a couple of days now, but I wanted to actually confirm it, which it says, we actually read this on the 11th, it says the 12th, kind of interesting. Saudi Arabia to launch new electronic instant payment system. Well, I guess they are in the future technically, so I could have read it on... Yeah, anyways, this is pretty interesting, though. The Saudi Central Bank recently announced the launch of a new electronic instant payment system. It's scheduled to take place on February 21st. The new payment system is designed to reduce the dependency on cash in the kingdom. Successful trials have already been completed. This is successful trials have already been completed. This has been completed everywhere. Everybody's been running these trials. That's why we've been seeing all these weird fluctuations with XRP and things like that on some of the online tickers. So pretty interesting stuff there. And the launch will soon will happen with the participation of other banks operating inside of the kingdom. They've had a 75% increase in digital payment activities during the coronavirus. They've been testing this stuff out for a long time, guys. Like I said, I'll leave a link to this down below. But this is huge. They're preparing. They're preparing for a crash, because never in history has this ever happened before. Because in most cases in history, when a fiat currency crashes, you go to bed one night and you wake up and the economy has crashed. And most of the time, and the people don't realize this, but most of the time, it's all planned out. People just don't quite grasp that it's planned out. But for the common person, they go to bed with their fiat currency, and then they wake up the next morning and suddenly it's crashed. And it's not necessarily that your money's worth zero, it's worth a negative amount. So for instance, a loaf of bread one day will cost, $2. And the day after, you have hyperinflation with a fiat currency, and a fiat currency is just basically a currency based on nothing but faith, no gold, silver, nothing backing it. And that next day, your loaf of bread will be $5,000 because it takes $5,000 of your worthless currency to purchase a loaf of bread. If you ever look at other third world countries when this happens, or any other time in history this has happened, you have pictures of people with wheelbarrows of money, like wheelbarrows of it, because it's worthless. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm not even 100% sure how they're going to do this. My best bet is they're going to try to prevent the world from completely collapsing in on itself. And I believe Ripple and XRP will catch this fall, and they're using the banking institutions to catch the fall. That's why they're putting it in XRP and Ripple inside of the banking systems. And little do the banks realize in the future that since it's decentralized, it's not controlled, that XRP will eventually run them out of business once people get the idea of how the cryptocurrency of XRP actually works, or the asset, or the utility of XRP functions. People will start to realize that you don't need a bank to do business, and that will be the end of the banks. So I think it's kind of funny they're using the banks to catch this fall, because they are a large enough institution, and as you have seen, a lot of people are coming on board with this. So we'll see what happens. This is going to get pretty interesting, to say the least. And here's even more proof of the same thing. JP Morgan considers getting involved with Bitcoin if demand keeps growing. I was actually looking for the other article, which I'll post this one below, but I actually found an article, and I lost it, that actually did talk about JP Morgan already kind of coming on board. And they've been talking a lot about Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is a distraction, in my opinion. And the reason why I say that is because just understanding economics in general, it's really kind of common sense. It's nothing complicated. There's no numbers and figures to really understand here, but Bitcoin is worthless. It's something that was created to test the industry and to run it against a blockchain, to run a blockchain against an online creating a currency. So think of Bitcoin like this. Before a car manufacturer releases a car, what do? They create the car, they put some test dummies in it, and then they slam it into a wall. And that's my definition of Bitcoin. It has no utility. It's very slow, very expensive. It uses mining, which is basically, people are uncoding blockchains basically just to deal with transactions. And that's why sometimes it can take, 10 minutes to an hour to transact Bitcoin. And so where XRP is cheap and does not require mining and is under 4 seconds, it takes no energy at all almost. So I think this is a distraction a lot of times, but I think everybody's going to be coming on. I do believe Bitcoin will be recycled in the future and will be something of value later on. So that's something to think about in the future. So this one here is pretty exciting to me. This is legal briefs. Definitely, if you are following XRP and the cryptocurrencies in general, he covers a lot of that, so definitely follow him there. So he's talking about the SEC Ripple lawsuit and the settlement. He's following this very closely. I actually go and watch him instead of reading all of their legal documentation sometimes, just because he covers it really well, and I don't have to sit there and read a bunch of legal documents trying to interpret them. So he's a really good one. But here, listen to this. This is getting pretty exciting.
That Gensler will approve the settlement that I believe Ripple offered as the SEC. So what I am seeing in these statements is kind of a public airing of grievances of an issue central to the behind-the-scenes negotiations that I think are going on with Ripple and the SEC currently. A settlement that would be good enough for Ripple and great for us as owners of XRP. As you may recall, my previous thought was that the Ripple case was likely to settle towards the end of the year, maybe in October or November at mediation, and I now have a new opinion. I would suggest that we see a settlement either before the 22nd, which is the pretrial conference, or shortly after Gensler's confirmation. I no longer believe the most likely outcome here is that this case goes to the end of the year. The main reason I sense this is not because I trust in Gensler so much as because I sense that Ripple is conceding more than I had previously imagined, and therefore I feel that the sides have come so much closer to an agreement than I imagined would be possible before really on Ripple's behalf. So everyone keep your eyes down, your ears open. I sense that something is in the air, my friends. But most importantly, happy Valentine's Day to my beautiful wife, the wind beneath my wings, and also the person behind the camera right now.
Okay, guys, so that is huge. That is super huge. So, okay, so look, I was stressed out for a while there because he has been saying, you know, like, oh, it's October during the mediation of 2021. I was like, oh, there's no way. I mean, I'm so excited about XRP. I want this to be now, which is weird because I'm always in for the long haul, but I've been following this for so long. I'm just like, okay, come on, let's see some clarity here. So I do believe that's going to happen because it has to happen soon. So everything's planned. Knowing that everything is planned out, here's how you have to think about this. They need XRP to have clarity inside of the United States so it can be so when this crash, which is just it's imminent, it's about to happen. Everything's bullish right now. Everything's peaked. The stock market, cryptocurrencies, everything, and that means what goes up must come down. So it has to come down, and when it crashes, this is not just. I think people don't quite understand this. So in most economies, when you have a crash, it is a dot-com bubble, and then boom, it crashes, the economy. Or you'll have a housing or a banking bubble, and it crashes. This time, it's an everything bubble. Everything is going to crash. But that's exactly what it needs to happen to reset this financial system. But they need clarity with XRP. And now that I see that the market is at its peak right now, I believe the 22nd is going to be huge. Once it gains clarity, they can crash the market, and then XRP can catch the market before it hits rock bottom, or maybe it will still hit rock bottom, but it will be able to transition into the new system. But from my understanding from economics and just common sense, we have to see the world collapse first on the economy side. And if the United States crashes, realistically, since all of the other, the entire world uses and transacts with anything with USD, this will collapse the world economy as well. But this is exactly what needs to happen so XRP can take the center stage. So we need to see the world collapse first. So we might not see XRP jump right as it gains clarity. It could. It very well could, because it does need to keep costs down. They have to have the price really high. So, and I won't get into all explaining all of that right now, but that's a really huge thing. Like this is so freaking huge, and you can just see that it's coming that way. So the way that it's heading. So, anyways, some stuff here on MasterCard and XRP. They've worked with Ripple in the past. MasterCard and Ripple share partners. I've been reading tons of articles. I'm going to be posting a bunch of these again into the descriptions and stuff. And I encourage you all to read these. But all of these things have been. I mean, if you look behind the scenes, MasterCard, Visa, these big, huge lending institutions are all jumping on. They're jumping on board with Ripple and XRP, and I find it really funny because publicly, what you see in the actual mainstream media, each one of these is talking about Bitcoin. I'm just like, they don't want people to know about it. They don't want people to know about XRP, so they can they think if they hold the majority of it, they can control it, but that's not how it works. So that sucks for them. This next part is extremely exciting. This is what I was wanting to talk about with NESARA. NESARA, we all know what NESARA is for the most part. It's a lot to read. Maybe I should leave a document about NESARA in the description as well. But this video is entitled Elon Musk Most shocking 2021 predictions and Tesla share price predictions. So this was just a video that was sent to me. I didn't think much of it until I had already read, NESARA, and then I came back to this video, and then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, so NESARA talks about companies in the future when you sell something. So this is a lot to explain in a short period of time, and I'll go over this a little bit more in the future. But with the new Flare network, that'll hold XRP and gives everything its value, essentially. When the system comes online, it's like in the future, you'll get paid to do simple things. Like, let's say you'll get paid to vote and participate in society. And the better you do to society, the more you will get paid in certain types of like flare drops or spark tokens and things like that that give something value. So again, I won't get into that too much, but they talk a lot about companies benefiting and profiting for making other people profit. And I always was really confused of what the heck they were talking about. Like, how do you sell a product and give that product to a person and allow them to make money in turning that product into an asset for the individual or the purchaser of that product? It made no sense to me until I went back and watched this video, and then I was like, oh my gosh, bingo, there it is. Watch this.
FSD, full self-driving, will be here in 2021. How will this change things? Elon says FSD and robotaxis will make Uber obsolete. He's launching the Tesla network, where anyone can add their self-driving Tesla and choose who can use it. The car will then drive itself to pick you up and find its way home. With this model, Elon is turning car ownership on its head. Instead of your car being an expense, your self-driving car will be an asset, like a property or a business making passive income for you. Elon predicts it will bring the cost of ride sharing down from $2 or $3 to under 18 cents a mile. According to Elon, an Uber driver could switch to the Tesla network and make up to $30,000 a year with the Tesla robotaxi, all without the need to drive. In fact, Teslas will cost less and give a higher return on investment than most investment properties. Yes, government regulation is still catching up, but if Elon is even half right, this will change the entire auto industry as we know it, starting in 2021. And when it comes to car predictions, Elon has been...
Okay, that is huge, guys. Turning a car into an asset. And then it goes even further than that, because he's going to be launching this new internet system that's what the true definition of internet is supposed to be. And then we're going to go further into it even than that. So just keep watching.
Right before. In 2018, he predicted Tesla would sell. To give you an idea of how crazy that growth is, Tesla passed Toyota in July as the world's most valuable car company. Prediction number 2, 2021 will be the year satellite internet rolls out. While you've been in lockdown, Elon has been shooting internet-linked satellites up into space. His SpaceX subsidiary, Starlink, has been launching 60 satellites a month, and he's now got 1,000 of them orbiting Earth. Starlink Internet is already in beta mode for $100 a month in some US states and Canada, with download speeds of 50 to 150 megabits per second. Elon's prediction? Internet access by satellite will be rolled out across the US and then the world in 2021. The US government agrees. Just a few weeks ago, the FCC gave SpaceX an $885 million grant to bring its Starlink service to 35 US states. Elon has already got FCC approval to launch 12,000 satellites, and that compares to a total of just 3,300 operational satellites.
Okay, so I thought that was really cool. Just that's not obviously the asset aspect I was talking about, but I thought the Starlink was pretty cool, creating the new internet, which runs on a quantum system, just like the Guardian blockchain runs on. It's pretty interesting. But here's the other aspect of his company that turns a product into an actual asset. So I think this is really cool.
Over half the world's countries and most US states are now at or below solar grid parity, when solar power becomes cheaper than existing fossil-fueled energy from the grid. Elon recently said, in the long term, I expect Tesla Energy to be roughly the same size as Tesla's automotive sector of business. Why is Elon so bullish on the growth of Tesla Energy? Because he isn't just building batteries and solar panels, he's building entire virtual power plants. News from September, Tesla developing Australia's largest virtual power project. News from October, Tesla launched UK-based virtual power plant project. And from Tesla's own website, earn cash from your Powerwall and create a cleaner, stronger grid. National Grid and Eversource customers in Massachusetts, Connecticut, or Rhode Island can now enroll their Powerwall in connected solutions. a program that links batteries across the state to create a large supply of sustainable energy, a virtual power plant, to be used during peak demand. What is a virtual power plant? Tesla is connecting thousands of homes with solar panels and batteries into one sun-powered network, then connecting them to the national grid. This gives homeowners a way to profit from their power. Just like Elon's robotaxis, he is turning energy from a monthly cost into a monthly income stream. As with all his businesses, whether his customers are homeowners, car owners, or governments, he always finds a model where his customers don't just get a great product, they get a return on their investment. And that's another big shift happening in 2021. Business models where customers make more money than they spend. And that brings us on to prediction 5, the most shocking and controversial of them all. This one isn't one that Elon is making publicly, but it is one which looks the most certain in 2021. 2021 will be the year Elon Musk tops the rich list. This year, Elon has grown in net worth from $20 billion.
Okay, you guys, that is huge. That is huge. You're buying a product that's considered an asset because it's making you money. It puts money into your income column and not your expense column anymore. That is so huge. Like, oh man, I am excited for that. So anyways, I hope you guys go check this video out. Watch the whole video. It's pretty impressive. Just going ahead and checking the price of XRP right now. Went down a little bit last night. I seen that it looks like it's going back up again. You know, so the nice thing about market cap with, you know, like stocks have market caps, but currencies a lot of times don't have market cap. Like for instance, a fiat currency doesn't have really a market cap. Because they can keep printing more and more of it, but there's only so much to give away of XRP, and in some aspects, Bitcoin. That's the only big, the value that Bitcoin actually has is because it actually has a market cap. They can't keep making more of it. So that's kind of where something can gain value or have value, even though there's nothing really backing it. But it has more value than our USD. I will say that. So that's pretty interesting. Oh, yeah, I use Yahoo Finance still. That's why I didn't even mean to have these open. That's funny. I looked these up last night because I was bored. But I used to be huge into Yahoo and Yahoo search. I used to be back in the day there was Netscape Navigator, Web Crawler, Lycos, and Yahoo. And I was looking at the old commercials. Have you guys seen these things? They're hilarious. I think this was back in 1999 or 98. We've come a long ways.
Yahoo?
Oh, the good old days of the internet and like the old Lycos. This is off subject, I know.
Lycos, go get it. Lycos, sorry, go get it.
I remember thinking this was the hugest thing ever, that you could buy stuff online. I remember the very first thing that I think the FTC allowed for when the internet was allowed to make actual legal purchases, which I believe was in 1994. And I want to say the first product, and when you Google this, you get different answers sometimes, but I remember from memory that it was a Pink Floyd album that somebody had purchased online. So that's pretty cool. I think it was 1994, 1995.
Unleash the new Lycos, and the internet is at your command. So, no matter what you're looking to retrieve, Lycos will hunt it down quicker and easier. Lycos, go get it.
Hi, I'm Claudia.
Hi, I'm Claudia. I'm a French model. Anyways, okay, so getting back into the reality of things here. Number of new accounts activated. I found this kind of interesting. This is XRP. So you're looking back here, May 14th, May 19th. Just usually right under 1,000. Sometimes it is even further below. And then it's kind of interesting when all this stuff started happening right before the lawsuit and stuff like that with the SEC. It really started to spike back in mid-November with 1,700 all the way up to 8. I mean, that's a huge spike. November 24th, 2020, Tuesday, 8,068 new accounts created, and then we go all the way over here, 12,000. Well, that's really huge. So we go from 8,000 all the way up to 12,632 on February 1st. And I think that was around the time they're going to do that pump that I thought was completely ridiculous. Again, this is the reason why it spikes. The price goes up because more people are buying it. There's less of it on the market. It goes up in value. Don't worry about it going up and down. I can't tell you guys this enough. It has not gained clarity yet. And when it gains clarity, as an asset backed by gold, when it becomes clear and gains function of its utilities, it will be like a flip of a switch. It'll just go up, and then it won't fluctuate anymore. It will never fluctuate up and down, to my understanding, when it's backed by an asset, unless like the price of gold would be fluctuating or something like that. So please keep that in mind. That do not matter if you bought in at 22 cents with $10,000 and you've doubled or tripled your money. It doesn't matter, because if it drops down to 10 cents, it doesn't matter. You still hold the same amount of coins. So as it starts to dive down and you see that you have you went from 10,000, let's say, to $40,000, and then it drops down to pennies, don't sell. Don't be scared. Just hold tight. So I can't stress that enough. Let's see here. And you guys should really search all these different things. Price, market cap, volume, liquidity, all-time highs, things like that. Really understand what all of those things actually mean. I won't bore you right now with all of that, but it's funny that XRP is just so down here, and it's worth so much more than everything else, and its true potential. I always find symbolism really funny. If you look at even the X is it's not touching. The X isn't touching, which this represents the part of the chalice. This stands for just like a military uniform, basically, on the shoulder patches there. One stands for, this is a female, this is a male. You see it all over the place. In fact, if you go, where else do you see an X a lot? You guys probably watch the X22 report. See, that's a hooked X. That stands for, in 22 is the master builder. In Freemasonry, everything's symbolism everywhere. And it's funny because this has been going on for years. I tell people that and they kind of roll their eyes at me, but now it's like everybody's kind of waking up and oh my gosh, that's so crazy. But it's been there forever. The X22 report. See that little book right there? That is a, I'll show you. Boom, it's that book right there. Some people say it's a Bible or something else or whatever, but and this doesn't mean that he's bad. This is actually, he's a good guy and he knows a lot of information. He has friends in high places, I'll put it that way. People get all weirded out about Freemasons and Masonic symbolism. There's good, bad, and ugly with all of it. Just like anything else, if you guys are in the military, there's good people in the military and bad people in the military. It's like anything like that. This guy is definitely a good guy, but the hooked X is definitely something that Freemasons have used for a long time. I'm not going to explain to you what it is and what it represents right now. The internet, you can't really find a good definition of what really it means, but he's a guy I think people should listen to, and people, the symbolism is right in plain sight. I mean, look at that, It's a that's a hooked X. The 22 is the master builder. Here's something I guys wanted to show you guys about the banking system. Most people, I grew up around people that always say, well, why can't we just print more money? Why can't we print more money? And that doesn't fix the problem. It just hyperinflates the dollar. People don't understand how it hyperinflates. And here's an actual clip of Thomas Jefferson. Obviously, it's a cartoon, but it gets the point across. And this is what Thomas Jefferson actually said verbatim. This is word for word what he had said. So I hope you guys understand this.
Of our independence, we must not let our rulers load us with perpetual debt. We must make our choice between economy and liberty or profusion and servitude. Wow. I place economy among the first and most important of republican virtues, and public debt is the greatest of the dangers to be feared. It is incumbent on every generation to pay its own debts as it goes.
We must have a central bank to secure this country's finances.
If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their money, first by inflation and then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of their property until their children will wake up homeless on the very continent their fathers conquered.
Jefferson, you're mad. This country will have a central bank.
Okay, so there you have that. That explains a lot. You got to understand that our founding fathers were Freemasons. So to call all Freemasons evil and Satanists, then that's like saying America was based on the foundation of Satanism, and that's why we have any freedoms. I mean, we have a lot of really messed up things, I will admit, in America, but we still have a lot more freedoms than a lot of other countries out there. So they did have fundamental principles to try to free us from the world, and that's why when Benjamin Franklin was asked, "What government did you give us, sir?" he said, "A republic, madam." He said, "A republic, that is, if you can keep it." And that's what he. I don't think people really understand the severity of that, because we sit back and expect somebody else to deal with our problems, and that's kind of what we turned into in America. We need to wake up, and we need to understand the Constitution, read the Constitution, know the Constitution, and know the difference between a republic and a democracy. You were born with freedom in a republic, given to you by God, and the republic says that nobody can take or vote those freedoms away from you. And a democracy says, well, that may be your bike, but we can, by sheer number of votes, we can vote that bicycle away from you, or whatever it may be, your money, your house, your whatever. So I hope that you guys understand that. And the Freemasons that started this country did try to do the right thing. And it's funny because people, like I said, like if they're Satanists, like if you guys know my background, I follow the money trail a lot. And if you go and you look at the Freemasons, they are the ones that started the Shriners Hospital. The guy with the funny little hats that drive around in the little cars. They donate and heal children with like certain diseases that they're born with, like cleft palates and things like that. They donate money to those to help those children. And I have really dove into their money, and their money does go towards children in need. And these are the Freemasons that set this up. So they're not in the business of I mean, I can show you like even Warren Buffett and Vanguard and all of these other ones, they donate to these charities like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that traffic children. And I can show you that on a, following the money trail. These guys are clean. And so I would base that would be my evidence that not all Freemasons are completely corrupt. So anyways, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this, but I think you guys get my point. I was kind of all over the place right now, but I just want to get that information out to you guys. If you guys have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments below, and I will make sure to get back to you. And if you guys have any suggestions on future videos or questions, definitely leave those down below. Thank you. Lycos.